What's up, dudes? So I have all my cards are back organized. I got the big stack of signs, and Spirit wants to talk about the mirror again. I talked about the mirror a really long time ago, and it's coming up again. So a bunch of people, we've had the second round of Starseeds get activated. A bunch of people may think the mirror is fucking with them. First of all, let's see who this is for. Who's this message for? We're going to take 3. Who's this message for? They may think the mirror is fucking with them. So this person may have body dysmorphia. And the way it manifests is, or they had it pretty bad before their awakening. And the way that manifests is, it happened to me, and body dysmorphia is when you look in the mirror and you're not quite sure what you're going to see back, looking back at you. You know it's you, but every time you look in the mirror, because of whatever trauma you've had, it skews your own personal filter on how you see yourself. And this is the form of body dysmorphia that we're talking about. So, first of all, what's the difference between body dysmorphia and body dysphoria? They sound kind of the same, but they're different. So, body dysphoria is when, like, a transgender person is a perfect way to explain body dysphoria. So a transgender person feels who they are inside, and their body, their vessel doesn't match it. Oversimplifying is, I was born in the wrong body. So a lot of non-transgender people, which trans and cis, okay, Spirit's taking it way back now. So if a transgender person refers to a non-transgender person as a cis person, that's not a personal dig. It doesn't mean sissy. It doesn't mean anything like that. How those terms came about was in the 90s. A woman, I believe from Minnesota, wrote, and I don't have any transgender people that I know of in my family. I'm just well educated. And so you don't need to have a transgender person in your family to have an open heart and believe there's enough room on planet Earth for everyone. So how those terms came about is a woman in the 90s wrote a research paper, and she identified this class of people, much like you would maybe scientifically identify homosexual, heterosexual. It's a scientific classification of person. And it comes from a chemistry term where cis and trans are used in chemistry. And cis means coming from one side and trans means coming from the other side. So for the record, that's how those terms came about. Now, if somebody's inner circle, if their broski or hoskies club decided that cis means it's just a put down towards people who aren't transgender, and how dare those transgender people call us sissies? Yeah, that's not what it means. That may be what your like stuck up lunch table has turned it into, but the whole rest of the world has agreed on these scientific terms, and it's in the fucking dictionary. All right? Personally, I believe there's enough room on planet Earth for everybody. I have a transgender friend that found their friend, loved one, person stroked out on a floor, and they called 911 and saved that person's life. Yeah, nobody cared that they were transgender in the moment when they were saving somebody's life. So I feel there is enough room on planet Earth for everybody. With that said, I can agree to disagree with people. All right. So a whole bunch of people are going to have the death of the ego. Okay. I just heard short stack. I just saw 555. Leo. And one more. Virgo. Okay, we're just going to sit in that for a second. I'll be back. Want to see what I got at the thrift store? Well, somebody might be interested. Want to see my style? Hold on. So there's some of my stuff. So back to transgender. Spirit wants to just cover a bunch of topics. The woke mind virus didn't create transgender people. Technology just linked a bunch of people together. That's different. And so some people may think there's an agenda or this kind of stuff. And it's very hard when people say, I can exist, but you can't. And we have to watch that. People who say, I can exist, but you can't. All right? So for the record, before colonialization, Hawaii, Mexico, I know those two places for sure, and I know other places around the world, had a word for a third kind of person. So for a person who may take on both traits of both genders, or a transgender type person, before it got stamped out by colonialization, I hear it like that kind of person existed and was accepted. And there is a word for it in Hawaiian, and there's a word for it in Spanish in Mexico. So the woke mind virus didn't just all of a sudden make transgender people. Transgender people have always existed. All right? Now, the mirror. Well, let's go back to, now we know what body dysphoria means. Let's go back to body, and that's what a transgender person may have. Let's go back to body dysmorphia. So transgender person has body dysphoria. Let's go back to body dysmorphia. That's what I suffer from. Well, I don't suffer from it so much since my awakening. I had a lot of trauma. I was very critically judged growing up. And so it affected my own personal filter. And a lot of non-transgender people may have this issue too, called body dysmorphia. And it's where you look in the mirror and you don't see what everybody else sees. You see a skewed version of yourself. You may not know what you truly look like. Now, most people who are cis, if you will, or are not transgender, do not have body dysphoria. But transgender people can have body dysphoria as well as body dysmorphia. They can have both of them. They can feel, a transgender person can feel, I don't feel right in my body. And then on a separate issue, I look in the mirror and I don't really know what I look like. A non-transgender person can have body dysmorphia, but probably does not have body dysphoria because they feel comfortable in their body. They just don't know what it looks like. So that's the difference between those two words. And both of them are very legit issues and things. So if you have been awakened and you may identify with either of these, Spirit wants to talk about the mirror. So you may think that the mirror is fucking with you. I've got some, this is my card for Twin Flames coming together. I've got some picture cards that I'm just going to, this is a person who doesn't give a shit. Their heart chakra's open. They are standing in their authentic self, and they love to laugh. I keep looking at myself waving back at me. So you may go to the mirror, and this is the mirror exercise that Spirit wants people to do if you identify with anything I've been talking about. Go in the mirror and take a look. And when you look at yourself, you may notice, oh, yeah, I see I have some spots or some wrinkles. I see them. At first, it may look very severe, gritty, harsh. But just look at it and acknowledge it and say, okay, I'm changing as I get older. And then step away. Step away from the mirror. And then 10 minutes later, go back to the mirror. This is my Rose Without a Thorn card. when you go back to the mirror, you may notice that it looks like you have an Instagram filter on. It's the same you, but all of a sudden, it looks a little bit better. Like, the spots aren't so spotty. The wrinkles aren't such crevasses. Like, who put an Instagram filter on me? I look nicer. I don't look so gritty. I don't look so damaged. That second time that you're looking, where it looks like you have the nicer filter on, that's what you truly look like. And Spirit wants you to understand that. You are beautiful. That first time was your own fucked up filter called body dysmorphia. And it's because of whatever trauma you may have had. And so when you're getting alchemized through your awakening, Spirit is going to show you how beautiful you truly are. And this isn't like narcissists gazing at themselves, jerking off over their own fucking reflection. No, this is more like Echo finally found her voice. And so you may look back and say, is the mirror fucking with me? Like, what is happening in this awakening? Everything seems glitchy. It seems weird. It seems like I'm getting fucked with. You're not getting fucked with. Spirit's unfolding the truth and reality that you are beautiful too. And the more you heal, the more you will start seeing yourself as that Instagram filtered person, which there's no filter. That's your authentic self. You are truly beautiful. You may start seeing beauty in other people because that deep wound that you had that fucked up your own perception is getting fixed by the grace of Spirit, Source, God, your ancestors, aliens, the Force, whatever you call it. I call it all of the above. Wants you to see how beautiful and how worthy you are. And you got chosen to go through this experience. How lucky. How lucky. All right? So let's do a final message. What's the final message? I've always ran away from love. I want to stop running. And final message from Star MS. Yeah, Spirit just had to make it all right. All right? Or you're like that. Look at this. Just landed right like that. I add value to the world. Okay? Somebody may be thinking about getting married. Somebody may see somebody they were married to in a past life and all of a sudden the cords are connected. Somebody may see someone full of grace. I add value to the world. All right, and final picture message. Final picture message for Gemini, Leo, and Virgo. Gemini, Leo, and Virgo. Lace might mean something. I hear, will you be my princess? This tiger is as smitten as a kitten, darling. They think you're absolutely beautiful. There's the message.